O song celestial. Hello, Bhagavad Gita. Let me see what comes out of me when I read thee. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm getting a bit too eager, but there's still time. Yeah, I said 7. I believe I ought to stick with it. Just let me give you the introduction, just to make it how people think spirituality ought to be. Oh wow, now it's official. Oh wow, now I can listen to him. He must be really spiritual if he does this. You just gotta ruin it. Just gotta really ruin it. If I wouldn't be recording this, of course, if this would be something more serious, but I know who I'm talking to. So I know you're probably in a bad place. Right? You're not supposed to tell me this, you know. I'm supposed to figure out myself how much in a dump I am. So if I'd be here and there'd be people, yeah, I'd probably be more reserved. But now I don't have to be. But it's also hard to say. I don't want to be overly. Okay. Chicken. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you're an active hiker, yeah, meat to me works. Because most people that stop eating meat, there's also a lot of fear involved. Because if you attain like a place of heaven, so yesterday I ate meat, and you feel like you fell. Seriously. It feels like some kind of hell. It is true to a certain degree. I really felt like I fell. Oh wow. Oh yeah. That's it, man. I've got an avo. I've got some pork belly that we grilled. It's basically pork. I have 1 egg. Okay, maybe I should keep this one. I should boil it, bring it on the hike. I have to make a plan. Okay, this I will keep. No. Wow, what am I gonna take? What am I gonna eat? Wow, I'm such a glutton. Well, it's the only joy I have. So yeah, I mean, it really pays off. If you do your cleansing, law of attraction says you're gonna attract a clean woman. That's what you want. I'm just saying, that's what you want. I mean, I have had my fair share of sexual experiences, and I am quite fond of cunnilingus, because I am fairly good with my tongue and dealing out pleasure. I'm fairly attentive, and I pay attention, you know, to what the partner likes. But yeah, if you keep on giving, and women also get dirtier and dirtier, it kind of loses its touch at some point, and then you just want to invest it. You just really want to invest it then into like your wife, where there's a lot of trust then. And then you have to let all these women that you slept with previously, you really have to let them go. Like, stop imagining, stop going back to them, even in your mind. Stop longing for them. You have to let all of this go. And then only focus on this one woman. Yeah, makes sense, makes no sense. It's just something that happened in my life. I simply said, then I'm gonna just be fixed on one woman. Anyway, yeah, like oral pleasure is really not nice if you're not clean. And usually if you keep having sex, you're gonna get more and more dirty, and then your partners are gonna get more and more dirty. That's a fact that I can guarantee you. Which is why I make a habit of going into nature, cleansing myself in natural water. And the last time I went to this lake, which is my hiking route, it's a bathing route basically, because I need it. I need to clean myself because I channel a lot of energy, and a lot of this energy is really dirty. Yeah, that's just what I feel. So I need to swim in water, otherwise I become... yeah, I'd probably start drowning again in the swamp of broken souls or something. You know, I could be peeing in a bucket and you wouldn't know. I'm just saying. You know, romanticizing sounds is really interesting. Maybe you were just thinking, oh, he's doing that again, how nice. I ruined it for you. Yeah, I can talk and pee at the same time, you know, it's no problem. You know, I know multitasking, but I rather focus on one thing. Which is why you need quiet time with your wife. And for that you have to get used to quiet. So I stopped listening to music. I deleted all the music I had on my computer except the one I made myself, but I'm not listening to this. Sometimes for inspiration. So yeah, that's one thing I was wondering if I should push this through. Creating albums. It seems a bit ridiculous, but if it's part of what you do, okay, this is roughly 2 pages. A bit more. Chapter 7. Krishna. Learn now, dear Krishna speaketh. Learn now, dear prince, how if thy soul be set ever on me, still exercising yoga, still making me thy refuge. Yeah, we've had this, right? This like, me thy refuge. Don't focus on any kind of people-like manifestations. I believe your way through should be nature. There's no benefit in clinging to what you think people are, because they're just gonna be replacements. And when they go, then there's gonna be a hole. You know, nature is there and it will always come back. And there's a lot of it, and it's gonna outlive you. That's a smart approach. Take nature as your guide. Find solace in nature. Fall in love with birdsong. Fall in love with the way wind feels, the sun, water, natural water. Try to get as close to nature as you can. And, you just have to get through winter. And even that has its charm, of course. But every year there's, plenty of also sun. Wow, that's like the real time of opening up, and then, winter comes, it's a bit more like, okay, more like reserved. But yeah, the more you do your hardening, the better energy is going to flow in your system, the less harsh you will feel winters. And then, like, Wim Hof method is then okay. It's just that you have to do this. It has to be basically become a daily practice. Your life has to become like this. So yeah, get rid of chairs. Sit in a squat. Walk on all fours to the toilet. Make it a bit fun. Children can then learn from you, But you teach them, of course, to not be animals. I mean, what we say animals are. You have to be like higher consciousness, so learn to communicate. Read books. Also listen to difficult audiobooks. This is already quite difficult. This is not Pocahontas or something. Well, it is in a way. But, Pocahontas read a lot of books, started to communicate with the people that are destroying. Everything. Okay. I really don't like this personification of what they say some kind of god is. Just focus on nature. Still making me thy refuge. Thou shalt come most surely. Because nature you can also take everywhere with you. And you find it everywhere somehow. Unto perfect hold of me, I will declare to thee that utmost lore, whole and particular, which, when thou knowest, leaveth no more to know here in this world. Of many thousand mortals, one perchance striveth for truth. Yeah, that I understand. I always say 1%. 1% of 1%. Maybe nowadays it's not 1% anymore, it's 1% of 1%. Which means if you're living in a city of 90,000 people, or let's say 100,000 people, just make calculation easier. So in a city, like in a tribe of 100 people, then there'd be one. I always call it a shaman, because shamans are then aware of their ancestral lineage, which gives them extra homework, basically. Because they have to, in a way, they will have access to a lot of knowledge, and that's all the voices of past generations, and maybe even future generations, zooming around in your mind. Maybe we're all like this. Well, some of us blossom, others not so much, but maybe everyone is also a different kind of a plant. So, you see in a tribe, you have, let's say, a village of 100 people, that's one person. 1,000 people, 10. Okay. 10,000 people, 100. 100,000 people, 1,000. It seems to be getting less. You see it? Out of 100 it's 1, but in 100,000 it's only 1,000. Yeah, you see the problem we're having today? So today it may be even less. Or it's more, who's to say? It always seems like no one. I just don't take a lot of people serious. Okay, let's see it like this. from, let's say it's 1%, but from the 1%, there's still 1% that's exceptional. I count myself as exceptional. But that's just a lot of things coming together. So, from 100,000 people, 1% tries to rise out of all of this shame and stuff. And they do a bit their job, but for them it's more like a pastime activity. It's not like their main occupation. They don't, you know, they're just like, yeah, I'll just do a bit. But some really want to know it. And that's again the 1% from the 1%. So 1%, okay, the idea is 1% starts doing something. But a lot of them are just content then, okay, you know, they'll just find some kind of a yogi, some kind of a guru, and then they'll just stick to that doctrine. But 1% of the 1% really pushes through, completely lets it all go, just discovers themselves and says, hey, I'll just follow nature. You know? That's the rawest I can find, but also the hardest teaching. So, in terms of Naruto, there's lots of ninja in a village, but some also like, so like, then Sasuke, he likes to do his own stuff still. He's like more like, you know, he likes to stay a bit in the shadows. But clearly also figured himself out in such a way. So there's always people that stand out, even amongst the people that stand out. Because standing out means also a lot of attention, which is why I don't stay long in certain places. You know, I keep on moving, but then I'm back here so I can produce. Because that's what's going to help me to progress further. Safe spaces, that's what we need. Okay, of many thousand mortals, one perchance. So 100,000, 1%, 1,000. 1% of 1,000, 10. Strivest for truth. And he says of many thousand mortals, just one. So that's from 10%. Let's say 10,000 people. One. That isn't 1%, clearly not. If from 10,000 people it is one, then it is maybe 0.1% or something. Or if it's, well, how many zeros do you take away? How many decimal points? If it's 10,000 to 1, 10,000 is 5 zeros. It's 100. Minus 1 is 10. Minus 1 is 1. 0.1. 0.01. 0.0001% or something. It's not a lot, man. Which is why if you see your chance or you really want to do this, do it. Okay. Nay and rise high. Strivest for truth, and of those few... okay. He's just saying it. Of many thousand mortals, one perchance strivest for truth, and of those few that strive, nay, and rise high, one only here and there knoweth me as I am the very truth. But the me as I am wouldn't be able to talk about it because it's just everything. Earth, water, flame, air, ether, life and mind. And individuality. Those 8 make up the showing of me, manifest. Yeah, I don't believe it. That's just how you have a cult or something. These be my lower nature, learn the higher, whereby thou, the lion one, this universe is, by its principle of life, produced, whereby the worlds of visible things are born as from a yoni. Yoni, that's the vagina, I believe, or the womb maybe. And lingam, I think, is the penis. No, I am that womb. I make and unmake this universe. Than me there is no other master, prince, no other maker. All these hang on me as hangs around. I have met beings where I felt like, shoo, what's this? But what am I? You know what I'm saying? You see things and you say, wow, what is this? Yeah, but what am I? You know, I should be equally as marvelous as everything else. So not more marvelous, I should be my own thing. So if I've got hidden potential, I meet other people's hidden potential or something. Like somebody's true form. Okay, what's my true form? Gotta work that one out. It's gonna be hard. These be my lower nature, learn the higher, blah blah blah. Okay. No, I am that womb. I make and unmake this universe. Than me there is no other master, prince, no other maker. All these hang on me as hangs a row of pearls upon its string. You know, nature doesn't have to say this, it just stands on its own. You just have to learn to see this. And then there's this Krishna guy saying, yeah, I am it, you know, you have to worship me. I'm like, why? I'll just worship trees, you know, I'll just worship nature. You know, I don't know what you are, but you're talking an awful lot about how I ought to worship you. What are you getting out of it? Power. No other maker. All these hang on me as hangs a row of pearls upon its string. I am the fresh taste of the water. Why can't water be just water? I, the silver of the moon. Yes, he is like identifying with the world. The goal of the sun, the word of worship in the Veds, the thrill that passes in the ether. I call this, you know, the ether, they always say like the in-between, the ripples, and the strength of man's shed seed. I am the good sweet smell of the moistened earth. I am the fire's red light, the vital air moving in all which moves, the holiness of hallowed souls, the root undying. Why couldn't they just call this nature? I'm not quite sure. You know what he should... I feel like he should say other things. Like find what you're looking for in. But without saying that I am all of this, because I am, like what? I mean, what is. Then, and you say, yeah, it's just, I don't like this part of this. The vital air moving in all which moves, the holiness of hallowed souls, the root undying, whence hath sprung whatever is, the wisdom of the wise, the intellect of the informed, the greatness of the great, the splendor of the splendid, Kunti's son, there am I, free from passion and desire. Yeah, but I still have the desire to tell you, you have to slaughter them all. Well, he hasn't said that in a while. Interesting, isn't it? Yet am I right, desire in all who yearn. Chief of the Bharatas, for all those moods, soothfast or passionate or ignorant, which nature frames, deduce from me, but all are merged in me, not I in them. The world deceived by those, yeah, maybe some things like this exist. The world deceived by those three qualities of being, wotteth not me who am outside them all. Above them all, eternal, hard it is to pierce that veil divine of various shows which hideth me, yet they who worship me pierce it and pass beyond. I am not known to evildoers, nor to foolish ones, nor to the base and churlish, nor to those whose mind is cheated by the show of things, nor those that take the way of asuras. Four sorts of... I am actually sometimes afraid of eating. Because if I feel like this, and then I know, okay, there's food, but I also feel like I have to eat it, or, I don't know, I sometimes don't know where it's gonna get me, or how I'm gonna feel after eating. Sometimes I feel good just being awake. It's gonna put me to sleep. Sometimes I don't want to. But I simply want to appreciate food also. Hard it is to perceive that veil divine of various shows which hideth me, yet they who worship me pierce it and pass beyond. I am not known to evildoers, nor to foolish ones, nor to the base and churlish, nor to those whose mind is cheated by the show of things, nor those that take the way of asuras. Four sorts of mortals know me, he who weeps Arjuna, and the man who yearns to know, and he who toils to help, and he who sits certain of me, enlightened. Of these four, O Prince of India, highest, nearest, best that last is, the devout soul, wise, intent upon the one, dear above all, I am to him, and he is nearest unto me. All four are good and seek me, but mine own, the true of heart, the faithful, stayed on me, taking me as their utmost blessedness. They are not mine, but I, even I myself, at end of many birth, to me they come. Yet hard the wise Mahatma is to find, that man who saith, all is Vasudev. Yes, so Mahatma Gandhi, they gave him this title. I believe he shouldn't have identified with it overly much. He should have just stayed himself. So if you identify too much with this, yeah, I'm Mahatma, you should just stay who you are. No. Yeah, if they want to say it, but you don't have to identify with it. I mean, he labeled his books like this, Mahatma Gandhi, but you're Gandhi. So it got to his head, this attention, or whatever happened in his life. He wasn't really humble anymore. If you call yourself this, you don't have to say, I am the king, you know. If people think you're the king, okay, but you don't have to be that kind of a king. That's what I think. There be those too whose knowledge, turned aside by this desire or that, gives them to serve some lower gods, with various rites, constrained by that which moldeth them. Unto all such worship what shrine they will, what shapes and faith. 'Tis I who give them faith, I am content, the heart thus asking favor from its God, darkened but ardent, hath the end it craves. The lesser blessing, but 'tis I who give, yet soon is withered what small fruit they reap. Those men of little minds who worship so, go where they worship, passing with their gods. But mine come unto me. Blind are the eyes which deem the unmanifested manifest, not comprehending me in my true self, imperishable, viewless, undeclared, hidden beyond my magic veil of shows. I am not seen by all, I am not known, unborn and changeless to the idle world, but I, Arjuna, know all things which were, and all which are, and all which are to be, albeit not one among them knoweth me. Okay, I have witnessed myself in states where you also feel like this, like the all-knowing, but there's always only a fraction. But you can talk like this. I'm saying, but somebody's gonna call your bluff. It's like, yeah, I mean, he's losing his footing or something. So it's it can be an escape to say I'm all-knowing and that I'm all-powerful and that stuff. Wow, some people are really slipping. So I can sometimes feel like I see things from elsewhere. Well, what does that make me? Well, I don't know. Just somebody who started to look and then looked further and further and then heard snippets. Like sometimes you just know what's happening. Yeah, I can really hear what people are planning inside their minds. And then I have to be inventive so things don't get out of control. Because people's fears you can drive them insane. By passion for the pairs of opposites, by those twain snares of like and dislike, Prince, all creatures live bewildered, save some few who, quit of sins, wholly in act informed, freed from the opposites and fixed in faith, cleave unto me. Who cleave, who seek in me refuge from birth and death, those have the truth. Those know me Brahma, know me soul of souls, the Atman. No karma, my work. No, I am Adi Bhuta, Lord of life, and Adi Daiva, Lord of all the gods, and Adi Yajna, Lord of sacrifice. Worship me well with hearts of love and faith, and find and hold me in the hour of death. Here endeth chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Vijnana Yoga, or the Book of Religion by Discernment. So what I just had, the idea about animals, but even amongst what we call animals, there is, or some call them beasts, there's differences. And the tenderness of a mother clearly shows you, they're conscious. You see, I read now a large part of 70 or 75% of Gorillas in the Mist by Diane Fossey, and what she describes, how she describes the gorillas, they're conscious. What can I say? There's no difference. We just think, but they're to me the gods of nature, all different kinds of facets. What can you say what passes, just because they don't talk? Maybe they have given up talking because it's such a lousy form of communication. See how many words I have to use to try and describe to you the feeling with which I'm living, the stuff I have in my mind. If you'd see me, it'd be different, but because you've been raised into words and you're just slowly waking up, So yeah, here, wake up call, start living your life, man. Okay, that was chapter 7. It's now page 25. So I'll see how far I'll get tomorrow. This was a rather short one, but we also need these. Now I can have a bit of maybe quiet time. That's often the hard part. To stop talking, to turn off the microphone. Because then the fear comes of wasting away, of being consumed by the darkness. Which is why, yeah, I do feel a bit like edgy about winter again. But I don't think it's gonna be as bad. And then other fears creep in, such as, you know, the microphone may break. What am I gonna do then? That kind of stuff. What can you do? You just have to continue to breathe. And then in the end, is it my fear or someone else's? Well, if it breaks, I'll just continue writing books, right? I treated fairly good, so yeah. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Cheerio, folks.